For today's Cyber CEO episode,
oh my gosh, he is the kindest, most willing to help individual that I've worked with. And I own my own real estate company. I've had my real estate license for 23 years. I have been in this industry for a very long time, and he is so supportive. He's very driven, which was very important for me. We have a great relationship. He has been amazing and has changed my world and has given me a lot of just confidence in what I'm doing and the ability to be able to do more outside. He knows our goals better than I do. That's who JJ is to me.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show. Lindsey, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful.
Here we go. Now, first, we'd like to thank you for your time. We're very excited to have you on the show. I know you have a lot of things to do. Really appreciate you being here. Now, start things off to let you know we have a lot of listeners who are business owners just like yourself. So I need your help. Can you tell us something about yourself and your business, please?
Yeah, I am a team leader with Keller Williams, and I have been in this role as a team leader for 8 years and love what I do. I am super excited about the team leader role and going to be making some changes. And at the same time, it's a fantastic organization, and I love the organization that I work with.
There we go. Now, a lot of experience for you just in the team leader role. Also, how about working with someone virtual though, just like what you're doing with JJ? Is this a first for you at all?
Yes, it is a first. And I was the person that was, no way, I'm not doing that. There's no way it'll work. There's no way that I will have somebody virtual. They're not going to be able to form the relationships. They're not going to be able to get the appointments. It's not going to work. And I put it off and put it off and put it off. And now I wish I had done it 5 years ago.
Now, how long have you been working with someone virtual? How long have you been working with JJ?
JJ started with us, I think technically in February, but basically we went through the interview process in January, and then he started with us in February.
Okay, so a few months now, if my math is right, around 6 months then, am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, was it a big change for you though? Now you're working with someone who's virtual, being it that this is your first time. How was it transition for you? Was it a big change for you personally?
Yeah. Well, JJ is amazing. I got super lucky, and he really has changed my world. And I really didn't know it could be as good as it was. Mm-hmm. And he has just, at first it was hard, yes, because I'm trusting what I've been doing for 8 years, putting that trust into someone else. And if you know any team leaders, we're kind of a control freak, just a little bit. So just having those conversations with him, and he was so open, or the experience, he was so open to learn. And that is something that we went through as we were going through the process, the interview process. Mm-hmm. That was something that was really important to me. And I did spend a good 2 or 3 hours before we started the process, just knowing exactly what I wanted. So I put a little bit of time in up front to know what I wanted and how to ask the questions to get the answers, and that would tell me who he really was, and if this was going to work or not. And growth-oriented, growth-minded, that was something that was very important to me going in the process.
I think someone who's very growth minded is going to be an asset to any team, right? I think that's my opinion,
100%.
though. Yeah.
100%.
Now, talk to me more about JJ and what's it like working?
Oh my gosh. He is the kindest, most willing to help individual that I've worked with. And I own my own real estate company. I've had my real estate license for 23 years. I have been in this industry for a very long time. And he is so supportive. He's very driven, which is, super driven too. So that was very important for me. To have someone who is driven. I'm very direct and he can handle it. He doesn't get upset when he'll call me out, but he doesn't get upset. We have a great relationship and he's just, I know I sound like I don't have the words, but there really aren't a whole lot of words to put into him. And I've been thinking about this since I got the invitation a week or so, 2 weeks ago to do this. He's just he's kind and he knows our goals better than I do. He knows what we're trying to do. He researches. He's super resourceful. He goes out of his way to get the answers, figure out things. He thinks of things before I can think of them. And he's like, hey, Lindsey, did you think about this? And have you done this yet? And what about this? Like, he's just, which is what I need. I have ADHD and so I'm all over the place. And he is very good at pulling me back in and doing it kindly and sending me a text message. And if we have to change things at the last minute, he makes it happen, never complains, never anything, just figures it out and makes it happen. So I don't know if that's exactly what you were looking for, but that's who JJ is to me.
Gosh, it just seems like you've already created somewhat of a friendship with him too, the way you talk about him, the way you describe the partnership. Am I right?
Yes, 100%. And you're right. It is a partnership. We are in this together and he is as much committed to hitting. We know how many recruiting appointments we have to set. We know how many recruits we have to have. He will sit on the recruiting calls with me when we do them via Zoom, or if I'm on the phone, he'll sit on there with me. He takes all the notes. He sends them information that they want before we even hang up the phone.
Wow. Gosh,
Yeah.
The partnership has been like a well-oiled machine then so far in the past few months that you've been working together. So I'd like to know, again, talk to me more about JJ. Talk to me about tasks. What are the things that you ask JJ to help you with every day then?
Well, I really was afraid that he would be great for the first month or the first 2 months or maybe 3 months. And then the calls, because he's making recruiting calls with me. We are calling agents outside of Keller Williams and giving them the value proposition. And he's getting appointments. So he is setting appointments for me. And that task in itself, I've been doing this a long time, and that task in itself is hard. And that's what I thought that, very erroneously thought that there's no way he'll be able to create the relationships and get to know these people and get them to say yes. And boy, was I wrong, because we have had some solid recruiting numbers every month since he started with us. January was our lowest month, and he had just been hired, but he was going through training in January. So once he started in February, we have hit our 40 to 45, maybe 50 appointments every month. Wow. He has, he makes the phone calls. He double checks on them. He gets onto Zoom before I can. And if I'm on another appointment, he'll text me when the people do arrive on Zoom, and he keeps those conversations going until I can get on while I'm finishing up with another appointment. So it's really been amazing leverage having him as a part of our team. He is just so forward thinking in what can I do to help make Lindsey's life easier?
That's his goal. That's his goal, right?
That is.
Gosh.
That is.
Gosh, and imagine, you mentioned just started February, really working with you guys in the team, already hit your goals right then and there. And now, what I'd like to know is, again, you mentioned you've been in real estate for 23 years, being a team leader for 8 years now. How do you create that trust? Now, having someone to help you with the things that you know that you've been doing for a while now? How do you create that trust? Let's say, hey, I think JJ is going to be able to do this, things like that. How do you build that?
Well, I'm good and bad. I'm a super trusting person. And when I trusted the Cyberbacker process and I trusted the Cyberbacker training and who he had worked with another person before me. And so I was able to talk to the person that he had worked with, and they had great things to say about him, which for me was exactly it made us that instead of it being this really long thing to earn that trust, it brought it down to right here because I trusted Cyberbacker and I trusted that he was being trained at a high level and that he was being trained so that when I got him, I wasn't having to start over. I was able to go from right here and then expand it into something that we've been able to create a really great partnership. It's really easy. I mean, with JJ, it was really easy to earn that, to build that trust because he was super open about who he was. We spent about an hour on a Zoom call asking each other a lot of questions and just getting to know who he was as a person and who I was as a person and who I was as a leader and who he was as a leader and what was important to him and what was important to me. And I think spending that time as soon as he came on really, really, really helped earn that trust. And then we include JJ. He is on every stand-up every day. He's in our stand-up because we do those by Zoom. So he is in our stand-ups every day. Every time we have a staff meeting or staff, he is involved in it. Anytime we have a class, he'll say, hey, can I go to that class? 100%. Yes. Go to that class. So that he'll then tell me if there's something that I need to know, or if something was said or if something was done, then he helps keep me informed, but he also is learning to be better at what he does.
Gosh, imagine just a few months working together, just 6 months working together. You already have invested in your Cyberbacker and he the same, invested in you. So it's a mutual partnership between the both of you. Now, something in relation to that, my last question is, what's been the biggest impact of virtual leverage through Cyberbacker in your business so far? The impact of JJ in the business so far in the past 6 months?
Consistent appointments. It's so easy for the team leader to get distracted with all of the other things that we have to do. And our number one priority is to grow the market center, which means we've got to have appointments and we've got to make the phone calls. And it's very easy to get pulled away with our agents on the got a minutes and the, hey, can you help me this? And hey, do you have 1 second? And JJ has really taken that so that I can then answer those questions for our agents while he's making the phone calls and helping me create those relationships with the agents who are not with Keller Williams yet. And that's been the biggest impact is our appointments have been super consistent with 40 or more. 38. We had 1 month that we had 38 but it was because I was out of town. So I was out of town for a week and a half. So he was also really great. Well, I know you didn't ask this question, but I do want to make sure this is something that as a business owner, when I was out of town, we all want to go on vacation. And when I was out of town, he continued to make all of the phone calls and he continued to create those. He even had a couple of appointments for me and he set the appointments up with my productivity coach and with other people on our leadership team when I was out of town to make sure they knew what was happening and to make sure we continued to have our appointments so that I was able to go be with my family and nothing happened to our business.
Gosh, imagine just in a span of a few months, everything's already going great results as well. Imagine what you and JJ can do, let's say, in another year's time or 6 more months, just 6 more months from today, right? That's the exciting part. Now,
it is.
For sure, I forgot to tell you this. JJ is going to be able to listen and watch this once we have this online. So obviously, what we wanted to know, would you want to give him a quick shout out or any messages you'd like to give out to him before we end today?
Absolutely. He knows how much I appreciate him. I make sure I tell him that as much as possible, but he has been amazing and has changed my world and has given me a lot of just confidence in what I'm doing and the ability to be able to do more outside. So JJ, you know how much I love you and how much I appreciate you. You are so kind, and I will forever be grateful for you.
There we go. Now, we are very, very excited to see the continued success and growth of this partnership. And again, Lindsey, we know you're very busy. We really appreciate your time being here. I hope we can get you back here soon, though.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.